7 o'clock.
It's time now for news from the world.
Classic rock plays here. This is Rocket 102.5, KKCI, Goodland, Burlington, Colby, and online at nwksradio.net.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Domestic air travel should be returning to normal. Earlier this morning, the Federal Aviation Administration ended flight restrictions at 40 major U.S. airports. Those cuts were made during the federal government shutdown. In a bid to lower prices of grocery items, President Trump has ended U.S. tariffs on beef, coffee, tropical fruits, and a wide range of other supermarket staples. It's a dramatic reversal from a tariff policy that he has repeatedly claimed did not make items more expensive for American consumers. At the United Nations Security Council, a vote is scheduled on a U.S. drafted resolution that leaves the door open for Palestinian independence. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not swayed. He's vowing to oppose any such attempt. This is SRN News.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
My debt problem started probably about 2016. I needed my life to change financially. I called Trinity and I ended up joining based on high credit card bills and high interest rate. And my counselor at Trinity has been great, and Trinity has been helping me to get on the right path of paying off these credit card bills, bringing down the interest rate. They have consolidated my bills into one low monthly payment. And now I am finally getting out of credit card debt. So I just want to say thank you, Trinity, for showing me a better and greater path.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Sharon, and soon I will be debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio, I'm Connor Schuh. Dighton and Lane County is facing some serious challenges with finances and declining enrollment in their schools. Last Tuesday, school leaders there held a community meeting to discuss their lower enrollment and monetary losses, according to KSN. There's a chance they may have to close down their grade school and move those students to the high school and the district office. Superintendent Matthew Hendricks said, quote, "We have several classrooms that are open at the high school. We also have a district office that was originally built to be a pre-K kindergarten building. And so we would go ahead and move our pre-K/kindergarten to our district office. And then the rest of the kids would get moved into open classrooms," end quote. That will happen if they don't pass a potential bond to fix their broken HVAC system, which the district is currently putting some money into. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Today, a cold front will sweep through the area, turning the winds to the northwest and becoming a bit breezy at 15 to 35 miles per hour. Temperatures will remain warmer than normal, however, in the middle 60s, and will be in the dry slot of a low pressure. Tonight, skies will clear, winds will lighten, lows will drop into the upper 30s and low 40s, and for tomorrow and Wednesday, will be mostly sunny, still nice and mild for mid-November, highs 60 to 65 and lows 35 to 40. Winds will remain light at 5 to 15 miles per hour, varying from the northwest to an east direction, ahead of our next low pressure system, which arrives late Thursday and Friday, with increasing clouds and rain chances developing Thursday night and continuing Friday. Possibly a little morning snow mix. Thursday will be around 60, falling to low 50s for Friday, and overnight lows around freezing, and rain totals of a half inch to an inch are possible and above normal for this time of year. This meteorologist Chris Rummick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pestaway in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pestaway today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Fall is here, and so are big savings at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation up to $7,000 off with eligible GMC loyalty. Check out the 26 GMC Arcadia 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. On the Chevy side, the 2026 Equinox is 0% APR, and the 26 Colorado Trail Boss gets $500 customer cash or 3.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. Harvest the savings this fall at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone. He's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon. He'll score. Ball game.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work. Here's the turn and the give to Jackson. First down and more. He's at the 10 to the 5. Wildcat touchdown for Joe Jackson.
Trying to back his way down on Trey White. Kicks it toward the top. Deflected by Bidunga. What a steal. Up the floor he comes. Two-hands hammer.
His maneuvers. Drives that baseline. Ball knocked in his hands, and it's picked up by Ronchek. What a steal. In the front court, Hargress. Hargress out to Ronchek for 3. Yeah! Mahomes over the middle. Pass caught. And it's caught by Kelsey inside the 10, inside the 5. Kelsey leaps, touchdown, Kansas City.
Snap placement, kick on the way, and it is good. They don't block this one like last year in Kansas City. And on the final play of the game, the Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs by a final score of 22-19.
Not much gets old Dave Logan fired up anymore. I mean, that was a huge win.
But the voice of the Broncos, it's good. Yeah, I get them this time. I've seen it all. I'm an old worn Schuh. So, I don't know. That's probably something I'm gonna get railed for that on the text line. I can guarantee it. People love Dave Logan. I don't have any problem with it, but I just yeah.
Old man yells at cloud.
Old man yells at cloud. Dave Logan, I don't know if he still does. But he might still, I don't know if he still does. Someone will probably get me on this, but he was the head football coach at Cherry Creek High, I think, for the high school football team, as well as being the broadcaster.
I've heard people say that.
I'm pretty sure he was. I think he did both. So, pretty sweet gig, if you ask me. That'd be fun. I'd do that. Coach a sport and do play for the Broncos. Yeah, I can make that work. That'd be pretty sweet. Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. Off and rolling here on this November the 17th. Ross Volkmer, Connor Schuh here on the Morning Blitz. Broadcast, of course, on Goodland's Rock at 1025 NWKSradio.net and the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Hope you had a great weekend. Connor, how was your weekend?
It was good. I actually, last night, came in to do a little bit of extra work, and I ran into a big Broncos fan. Jared was pretty fired up. I saw him after the kick happened. So he was happy, to say the least.
Did you get tackled, shoved into a wall?
No, he was fired up though.
And that'd be police brutality.
Yeah,
that was the case.
I could get him for that.
Yeah, that's right. You could get him that for sure. But it was. I could see it. There's a lot of Broncos fans. Michael already chiming in on the FB Bank text line at 785-899-2222. Victory Monday. Let's go Broncos. Let's bow, and then go Broncos. Brian chiming in as well says 95% sure he's still the coach there. So yes, Dave Logan's still the head football coach at Cherry Creek High. Wes Willis being the play-by-play voice of the Broncos. So anyway, yeah, off and rolling here on today's program. We will be getting to the leftovers, anything we missed from our first couple of segments coming up here on a Monday show. We'll visit with Nick Athen. He'll join us via the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Look back at the week that was in the NFL. Still one more game to go tonight, if you want to call it that. I mean, jeez, you talk about a ugly Monday night game, the Cowboys and the Raiders. Who cares? I really don't. I have very limited interest in seeing how the Cowboys and Raiders shake out tonight. But yes, with that, and of course, we have weekend winners and losers coming up here in a little bit. You mentioned you went into the studio and did some early work on Sunday, and you were finally, what else? I mean, there was a whole weekend. What'd you do Saturday? Anything else exciting? Come on.
Watched a lot of ball, cleaned the house a little bit, did some housekeeping. It was much needed. Very, very much needed.
Had been left on the back burner.
Yeah. Like it wasn't disgraceful or anything, but definitely could have looked better. Definitely the big thing is cardboard boxes laying around.
Oh,
packages. So clearing those out.
You're not using them as, a coffee table or something like that still?
Haven't been able to manufacture them into a coffee table yet. I don't know if I have the room.
Pretty easy. If you got a big one, just turn it upside down.
I don't know if it would hold the actual coffee. That's the issue.
You don't have the strongest of boxes is what you're saying.
Not quite.
So are you a neat freak when it comes to your house, or is it just more of,
I like to keep it on the cleaner side. Like if I see anything getting like remotely dirty, like it does bother me to a degree.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I am a massive neat freak. There's no doubt about it. Very, very clean. Everyone, Curtis Duncan used to make fun of me for it here. A lot of people like my wife. My wife doesn't make fun. My wife enjoys the fact that I'm a neat freak, but I do have very much. That's why I spend probably about 20% of my life now cleaning up after my 3 kids. So you can imagine just following the mess around the house, picking up and putting things back, all that kind of stuff.
Sure, that's fun.
It's not really, but that's part of it, I guess, at this
part
point.
of the job.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. I think we honestly just went off the air on KKCI. I seriously just do. We're off the air on KKCI this morning. Now we're only on the video stream and audio stream. So
we've had that for the past month or so, going off the air in some places.
Yeah. So we've had some. Now apparently we have issues. I just texted that I think you're off the air, and I can hit this button and I can listen to it in my headset, and it's static. So I'm sorry, we're not on that. We're going to be on the video stream. And also, of course, on the audio stream, of course, on NWKSradio.net. And if you want to pull up on a certain app, you can listen to radio stations on apps. So I guess that's what you have to do it this morning. It's hard to go out and fix the tower now when you're in the middle of a show. With that being said, let's get rolling. Lots to get to on a Monday with weekend winners and losers.
There are two kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
All right, weekend winners. What do you got for us first, Connor?
I think they have to be at the top of this one at this point. It's the Broncos. I mean, they're 9-2 in division now. They get the Chiefs, they're 9-2 overall, I should say, and now they are squarely at the top of the AFC West. They're 2 games up on the Chargers, who are in second place. They lost 2, so they've got to be pretty happy with that as well. So now the Broncos only have to play the Chiefs one more time, the Chargers one more time, and the Raiders one more time. So you think with how they've been playing, they probably at least take 2 of those. And then other than that, they have the Commanders, the Jags as well. And then they get the Packers. It's a tougher matchup, but they are going to get probably 11 plus wins this year and win this division at this point. They're probably, they're in an incredibly comfortable spot right now. They just held the Chiefs to 19 points. They have to be feeling so good about their defense. And on top of that, Bo didn't turn the ball over. He didn't throw picks. And that nickname, Bo Picks, you don't want that to come to life, especially against the Chiefs. And it didn't. He took care of the football, and they played just well enough, even without J.K. Dobbins on the ground. And they got to win against the Chiefs. That's what the people were waiting for, I think.
Yeah, it was the good Bo Nix that showed up yesterday. They needed the good Bo Nix to show up, and he did. 24-37, 295. Didn't have a touchdown, but didn't have a pick, as you said. They didn't have a running game. I think that's the more impressive thing. I mean, this was just they just continued to prove that they are elite when it comes to defense. They are an elite defensive football team. Because you look at the offensive numbers, to not really have a touchdown of, a throwing touchdown in a game, to only have 1 rushing touchdown from Jaleel McLaughlin. Because, by the way, J.K. Dobbins, I think, out for the rest of the year. Or pretty darn close to it. So they're going to have to rely on R.J. Harvey, who only averaged 2.7 yards a carry in that win. But defensively, they are just elite. And that's why, I mean, they held down the Chiefs offense. They've held down other offense, the Eagles offense, which has been up and down this year. Let's be honest, but they have been elite defensively. They're, as I heard someone say, they're edge rushers. They know that that is what we hang our hat on. That is our cornerstone. We are a great pass rushing team. We've got great edge rushers in Cooper and of course, Nick Benito. And they're going to get on the edge, and they're going to get to the quarterback, and they're going to cause havoc. And they've done it all season long. And the question is, will they continue to do that throughout the rest of the season? More than likely. So, yes. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it was such an impressive showing from the defense. And Bo Nix made just a couple of clutch throws throughout the game, a couple of big ones that didn't resulted in points, maybe a field goal or something, but a couple of clutch throws that won the game, helped them win the game for Denver. But yeah, I mean, they're no doubt the winners of the weekend. They're certainly great at this point in time. They are fantastic at this point in time when it comes to where they're sitting. I mean, they're atop the AFC. They're atop the AFC West. They're pretty much going to win the AFC West, barring just an absolute collapse.
Oh yeah,
which I don't see happening. So yeah, no doubt, winners of the weekend, the Denver Broncos for sure. My first winner of the weekend. Going to stick to local high school football again. Shout out to the Weskin Coyotes. They are headed to the state semifinals. They pick up a huge win here on Friday night, defeating Ingles. It's deja vu. It really is. A year ago, the same exact time of year, Weskin and Ingles played in Weskin, and Weskin got the win over the Bulldogs, and they did it again on Friday. A little bit more of a high-scoring affair this time. 60-26, they get the win over Ingles on Friday. How about this stat line? I mean, this stat line, I got it directly from a very reliable source. Carson Wright, the running back for Weskin, 415 yards on the ground and 8 touchdowns. Just look at Connor's eyeballs when I said those stats. Jeez. They were humongous. They are massive, massive numbers. 415 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns for Carson Wright. the star player for Wescan this year. He's been amazing. He's been amazing, and he carried them to another great win over Ingalls, where now they will face off against South Barber coming up on Friday. And guess what? It's back at the home of the seventh man in Wescan. They get to have another home game, and if they can win that, they'll advance to their second consecutive state championship game. But congratulations to Wescan football. They beat Ingalls, advanced to the state semifinals versus South Barber. Once again, Carson Wright, tip of the cap to that young man, 415 yards and 8 touchdowns. That is ridiculous, the numbers that he put up. On the flip side, it was a little bit of a tougher Friday night for Wallace County. Just down the road, the Wildcats, unfortunately, could not get the win against Hodgman County. They come up short in overtime. The Wildcats lose 34-28 in OT. A heartbreaking loss for Kyle Gefeller and his crew. But, man, what a great season for the Wildcats. The 9-1 record is their best program finish in a decade. So even though it's a heartbreaking loss, and I get that it's going to sting this week and probably for the next, understandably so, it's all right. A great run this year, a 9-1 record. They lose in overtime to Hodgman County, and the season's over. But a great season, best finish in a decade for Wallace County football. So once again, Wescan football, winner of the weekend. Shout out Wallace County on a great season, even though it comes to an end with an OT loss. Right, more winners.
Okay, Oklahoma football. They had a great win this past weekend against Alabama. They put themselves in a much better position for a playoff spot, beating the Crimson Tide, who were number 4 in the standings, or well, in the AP poll. Now, no, but John Mateer, he did pretty well with his legs and through the air. Didn't need to throw a touchdown, but ran for a touchdown, and that Oklahoma front 7 is pretty legit. They got to Ty Simpson and made him incredibly uncomfortable all game and kind of showed themselves as a team that you don't really want to mess with in the SEC, and that might be kind of up on the same or a similar level as Georgia. I think that they'd play Georgia much closer than Texas did this weekend at this point, and I think we saw that. They made Alabama just not look like themselves. They made Ty Simpson look, well, not like himself. I mean, I got a chance to watch a bit of that game, and he really looked out of sorts for a lot of that. He still threw for well over 300 yards, but he missed a lot of throws that you think you would usually see him make. So props to Oklahoma and their defense. They really looked great, and I don't think you would think they would have had this good of a year coming off last year when they were like, 6-6, and they were just entirely underwhelming.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, that win was great. It was a great Saturday of college football all around. I mean, it was awesome. There were some games where I was looking. I didn't get to watch a ton of it. I had another thing going on Saturday, but I kind of checked the scores throughout the day, and early on I was watching the games like, gosh, South Carolina's up like 30 on Texas A&M, and look at this, and yeah, it ended up losing. The Texas A&M came back, but there was, USC, Iowa was up big on USC, and USC came back and won that game in the rain out in California. But yeah, that Alabama game, I didn't get to see it start. I got to see kind of the end of it, and Oklahoma with a humongous pick 6 in that game, which kind of got things going. I mean, Brent Venables is a defensive football coach. That's what he is. His teams probably will always be built upon defense because that is who he is. That's his identity. John Mateer has played hurt most of the season, but he's done a pretty good job at playing hurt. And they did if you look at the offensive numbers, they think they had like 230 some odd yards of offense.
Didn't need much
because the defense did it all. And to do it against an Alabama team, which I think is a pretty good offensive squad, although it's so funny to read all the comments on Sunday and today about Alabama, about how Kalen DeBoer, I just don't think he's the coach for Alabama. He has 2 losses this year, people. You guys think that you're freaking Nick Saban out there. There's only one Nick Saban
people
at this point in time. I don't get it. He's like, the offensive line underperforms. They don't have a running game, which they don't. And they do throw the ball a lot, but that's what Kalen DeBoer is known for. He is a believer of passing the football. They have 2 losses. They're still on the playoff hunt. Let's relax. Now, it does sting to lose to Oklahoma consecutive years, and this time, of course, being at home stings as well. But come on. Let's get off that. Great win, though, for the Sooners. No doubt about it. On a great Saturday of college football with some great come-from-behind victories. How about Michigan at the gun at Wrigley? That was interesting versus Northwestern.
Oh, I thought Northwestern had it.
That was probably heartbreaking for you. Like, oh,
yeah.
wow.
I stopped watching because I thought Northwestern kind of had it, and I was wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah. Got to give a quick shout out. Two more quick weekend winners for me. Shout out Flory Badunga for Kansas basketball in their win over Princeton here on Saturday. It wasn't actually the most beautiful basketball game from Kansas's perspective. It was close throughout the first half. They pulled away in the second half for a 76-57 win over Princeton, who, by the way, is a basketball team that has been to the NCAA tournament recently. They've got a good program going there. But Flory Badunga, a career high 25 points on, get this, 10 of 11 shooting. Now, if you're Flory, you're going to probably be close to leading the nation in field goal percentage because all you really do is layups, little baby hooks, and dunks most of the time. You're a back to the basket guy, but he was extremely efficient. Not to mention he had 10 rebounds and 3 blocks in that win against Princeton. But Flory Badunga, a quick winner of the weekend, and one more fast one as well. Shout out to Travis Kelce. I know Broncos fans are going to hate me, but Travis Kelce sets the Chiefs' career touchdown record with 84. Had one there in the loss to the Broncos.
Okay, I've got just 2 quick ones rolled into one. 2 winners. It's Scarlet/Red Big Ten basketball teams, men's basketball teams. First, Nebraska ball. I mean, come on. 105-99 win over Oklahoma. You got to like that. I mean,
Nebraska basketball is so much fun to watch because it is cutting, passing, moving, and shooting threes. It is a lot of fun to watch. And that atmosphere at the Sanford Pentagon on Saturday was electric. I went back and watched the game. I didn't get to watch it all on Saturday, but I watched the game on Sunday night. It was electric. And yes, it was a lot of fun. And yes, I'm very fired up about that win. Nice win.
Price Sanford had 28, Rink Mass had 26. And then on the other end, Ohio State men's basketball finally decided to play some defense and beat Notre Dame on Sunday, 64-63. Thank you. Shout out to Christoph Tilley, Santa Clara transfer, big 7-footer with the game-winning lefty layup. He is a big piece for them this year, and he had the game-winning stop against an All-American guard, Marcus Burton. He had to face up on him on the perimeter and managed to put up a pretty good contest. So shout out those Scarlet Big Ten teams, both of them huge wins because they're both kind of, at least in most of those preseason polls, they're kind of towards the middle bottom of the pack. So they need all those Power 5 out-of-conference wins they can get.
There you go. Winners of the weekend. On to losers real quickly. Who's your first loser of the weekend?
It's the Chiefs. Sorry, guys. But it goes right hand in hand. They're 5-5 now. They're not going to, there's almost zero shot they win the division. And
that's over. It's over.
Top of that, they're in danger of missing the playoffs right now. And I think that's pretty clear.
I actually have the Chiefs as my biggest loser of the weekend as well. The biggest thing that stands out to me is the aura. The aura is gone. There was that aura where, you couldn't beat the Chiefs. No matter where you had them, you might have had them down, but they were somehow, some way found a way to win at the gun, whether it was a field goal or a play. The aura is gone. It's no longer there for Kansas City. They are no longer intimidating opponents. They're no longer an intimidating team. Teams, ever since Philadelphia kicked their teeth in the Super Bowl, everyone else has been like, well, we should be able to do that. And they've proven that they can. Even the Jaguars have said we can beat the Chiefs. And they have. And I'm not comparing the Broncos to the Jaguars. More on this. I got a text comment I got to get to here. But the Chiefs, the aura is gone. They're just no longer a team that intimidates other opponents. And every other fan's like, they no longer have the refs, on their side and all that stuff. I'm not going to say that. Not going to say that. The aura is gone. Here's the thing. They won 17 straight one-score games.
That wasn't going to keep happening.
They are 0-5 this year in one-score games. They aren't winning these close teams anymore. And you look back, it's a lot of, to an extent, there's a lot of the same key pieces there during that streak. What has changed? I think a couple things. I think one thing, they've played a lot of football over the last few years. When you've been in the playoffs and been to the championship game or deeper since 2018, that's a lot of football. Not going to say that's the biggest reason for it, though, but I think that probably has a little bit of an impact to it. But they don't have that aura anymore. The aura is gone. It's no longer there. Teams believe that they can beat them, and they are. Not to mention the schedule for the Chiefs this year. It's brutal. Look at that schedule again. And I think I said that at the beginning of the year. It's a brutal schedule. I mean, next week it's the Colts. And guess what? That could be 5-6. Could be a loss.
Easily.
Could be 5-6 easily. So yeah, there's a lot of things. A lot of things they're not going right for Kansas City. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that the aura is gone. Even though, Rashee Rice is back and all this stuff, and it's great, it doesn't really matter because the aura is gone. And teams know that, and they aren't able to get that done. Any other quick losers before we get to Nick Athen?
In the interest of time, I'll make my last two quick. First, Memphis Sports, their men's basketball team lost to UNLV, is now 1-2 on the season, and their football team is, I think, officially out of the Group of 5 playoff hunt. They lost to East Carolina, so not a great start for the basketball team and the football team. I think it's over this year, unfortunately. They were a lot of fun to watch. And then, lastly, the Vikings. Good old, well, you know what J.J. McCarthy calls himself? He says he has this alter ego. He calls himself 9 when he's on the field. And he says he turns into a different type of guy. Well, 9 was 16 for 32 with 2 picks and 150 yards the other day, and they couldn't get the Bears, who moved to 7-3. Vikings now 4-6, and they're kind of out of that little hodgepodge in the NFC North, and I think it's done for them. They didn't look very good, and they just lost that game easily, and I think they had chances to win, but they did not, and the Vikings are just shooting themselves in the foot. That's what's going on.
There you go. I have a quick loser too. The Jazz's Ace Bailey. Anybody see his stat line from last night? Ace Bailey, former first-round pick from Rutgers, now at the Utah Jazz, but didn't want to go there.
Before you say this, he had 20 points in each of his 2 games before that.
Okay, well, last night against the Bulls, 5 points in 10 minutes and 6 fouls.
Rookie. That's rookie stuff right there.
Tough day for Jazz Bailey there. We got to answer before we get to Nick Athen in the break. We have to get to the text line because people are blowing it up. Starting first and foremost with Cody. He goes, Ross, your commenting is so biased, it's hilarious. Except the W from the Broncos. The refs didn't win it this time for Kansas City. Thanks. Am I really that biased?
I didn't think so.
I don't think so, Cody. I mean, look, the Broncos won that game. Their pass rush won it. But let's face the facts, Cody. Is that offense out there? You're like, oh, God, I feel great about that offense getting it done all the consistently all the time. I wouldn't feel that great that way. You can't either, Cody. Defensively, elite. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And guess what? You have won the games you need to be sitting atop of the AFC, and I don't know if anybody's going to be able to catch you at this point in time. Congratulations. But, boy, I would really be concerned if I was a Broncos fan about my offensive production on a consistency basis. That's what I would say. I don't think that's the case. Listener Andy on our FB Bank text line, 785-899-2220 says, I think we need to change the conversation of Mahomes is elite to Mahomes was elite. This is a Chiefs fan. Whoa. They will have issues making the playoffs. They're also losing tiebreakers with every team on the border of the playoff. Need to probably go 6-1 to make the playoffs. I don't know if Kansas City can make the playoffs. They have a team that is capable of it. I don't know if the schedule is going to allow it. I think that's the hard part for Kansas City. When you win all these games and you get this high up aura, then you're going to get the best of everybody and you're going to get the best of the best in prime time, and it just compiles up. And I just don't know if the Chiefs have it to get it done this year. And then one more quick text from listener Kyle, who always brings up great points. Great point about former Goodland Cowgirl alum Telexa Weeder averaging 32 points a game for the Fort Hays State women. She had 36 earlier this weekend. She was phenomenal. The Fort Hays State men knock off 9th-ranked Southwest Minnesota State. Southwest Minnesota State, by the way, I think is overrated. They lost both games this weekend. They lost to them and to UNK. So I don't know if they're really ranked number 9.
Is that Northern Kentucky?
What? Southwest Minnesota State?
UNK.
No, University of Nebraska, Kearney.
Oh, wow. Okay.
University of Nebraska, Kearney.
I thought they played a D1 game.
No. And then KU without Darren Peterson for a day or two. How does this change your thoughts on KU's ability to win games like Duke on Tuesday night? From Kyle.
Ugh.
Well, here's the thing. Darren Peterson is elite, and of course it absolutely changes it. No offense to Kansas, but they're a completely different, and almost any team would be. But you're a completely different basketball team without Darren Peterson on the floor. Completely different basketball team. So to me, he's going to have to, in order for Kansas to have the season that they want to have, which is probably, a Sweet 16, Elite 8, deeper run than that, if you're a KU basketball fan, to make him happy, he's going to have to average probably 23 to 25 points per game. And if he can't stay on the floor and be healthy, that's going to be hard. So thank you, Kyle. I appreciate the text line lighting up this morning with questions and thoughts. Bring them. We love them. Love the listener interaction. There you go. Weekend winners and losers. We got to take a quick break. Back with Nick Athen. He's waiting patiently from Chiefs Blitz. That's next on the Blitz.
Fall is here, and so are big savings at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation up to $7,000 off with eligible GMC loyalty. Check out the 26 GMC Arcadia 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. On the Chevy side, the 2026 Equinox is 0% APR, and the 26 Colorado Trail Boss gets $500 customer cash or 3.9% APR for well-qualified buyers. Harvest the savings this fall at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Online at hurlchev.com.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland, and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Tom Saluda with the Anderson Trade Group with your overnight market report on November the 17th. In the overnight session, D's corn was unchanged at 431, March corn was unchanged at 444.5, and May corn was unchanged at 452.5. January soybeans were up 13.25 at 1137.5. March soybeans were up 12 at 1148, and May soybeans were up 10 at 1156. Kansas City hard red winter wheat December was up 4 at 519. March KC wheat up 3.5 at 536.5, and May KC wheat up 3 at 547. The Dow Jones is currently down 78 points at 47,151. The S&P is down 10 points at 6,745. NASDAQ is down 29 points at 25,064. Gold is down 27 points at 4,056 an ounce. And crude oil is slightly up at $60.23 a barrel. If you're out in the Colorado area and have any grain to market questions, please call John Hansey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484. Or you call the Overland Park office, myself, Tom Saludo, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000. Thank you.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. Because we've got you. With local vaccine events and access to transportation, protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore.
You've got this.
A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. Learn more at yougotthis.usaging.org.
I just like the savings up front.
It's quick and easy. The simplicity of it is very nice.
10% more is just free money. So I guess it'd be crazy not to use it.
What do all these quotes have in common? They're all from real farmers and retailers, and they're all talking about saving money on Corteva Agriscience crop protection products with True Choice. See how much you can save at corteva.us/true.
35 pounds of nitrogen and phosphorus, $50 an acre. Source and blueprint by Sound Agriculture. Half the cost, same yield potential. Growers are saving $25,000 on every 1,000 acres of corn. With Sound's ROI guarantee, you can't lose. In today's markets, every input dollar matters. Don't just spend more, make your seed, chemical, and fertilizer dollars go further. Smoky Valley Ag delivers seed, chemical, agronomy, and same-day or next-day delivery. Call 785-645-8010. Smoky Valley Ag, your reliable source for growth.
From the locker room to your morning commute, it's all sports, all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Sport!
On the Morning Blitz.
We are back here on the Morning Blitz on a Monday. Thanks again for your patience. I do know that we are back on the air on Rocket 1025. I don't know what happened. I have no clue. I haven't gotten a text message update on what happened there, but we were off for a few minutes, and now we are back on. But we kept the show going because we are more than just one way. Let's welcome into the program our good friend Nick Athen. He waits patiently. Good morning, sir. How are we doing today?
Doing great. You're just waiting for me to come on. That's why everything turned back on, I guess.
Probably. Honestly, that would be a fact. That would be a fact this morning. You're in a pretty good mood, all things considered, from yesterday.
I'm a realist. I spent 50 years waiting between Super Bowls. I've said this on your show 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 again. The Chiefs Kingdom is spoiled rotten. They expect to win every year. And when you have a team and a franchise that has basically done the same thing for the last 7 years and not made a whole lot of changes to its philosophy, offensively, defensively, special teams, everything, virtually all the same coaches, you're going to have stale moments. And right now it stinks to be a Chiefs fan. It's mind-boggling to me offensively, but without a running back, this team just can't win anything. It's just apparent.
Nick, I was saying before, right? You may have heard it too. I was talking about the aura. The aura I feel like is gone. It was this mystical force that, the Chiefs were going to win no matter what the score was. They might have been down, but they're going to come back. They're going to make the big plays. The aura is gone.
Yeah.
Why do you think that aura is gone? What is the biggest factor to why this aura is gone?
I think the biggest problem is I'm putting a column up about age and numbers. I think the biggest detriment to this organization right now is the fact that they don't treat the regular season as a path to the playoffs. They are complacent. They don't have energy. I mean, I don't know if you watched the press conferences last week with Andy and Patrick in particular. There just didn't seem to be any urgency. There didn't appear to be anything that stated that this was basically the Broncos AFC Championship game. This is probably the peak of the Denver Broncos beating the Chiefs yesterday. I'm with you that they're flawed offensively, but for Kansas City, no change in offensive philosophy. They have the best offensive line in the Andy Reid era. They have the best group of wide receivers in the Andy Reid era. They got a 36-year-old tight end who's playing like he's 25. You've got a defense that is not giving up a whole lot of points, yet this team is 5-5, and I just don't think they attack the regular season the way they need to. They're bored. They're just not bringing any energy consistently. And when they get down this year, they just can't overcome it, and that's a big problem.
Nick, is there any chance you think they have making the playoffs this year?
Well, I mean, I think you were right. 6-1 is probably going to get it done. I mean, I think Jacksonville's the only chance the Chiefs have, unless the Chargers just do a complete fall. The Ravens have won 4 in a row now. They're not. The Browns were not much of an opponent yesterday, but I think for Kansas City, it's a one and done mentality going forward, and that has to be their approach. And if they don't accept that, I don't think they can beat the Colts. I really don't. The pressure that the Chiefs have put down on themselves is so intense right now. I mean, they're still, look at the Super Bowl odds this morning. They're sitting at 4th best option, and they're 5-5. The math doesn't make sense. If they run the table, they'll get to the Super Bowl. That's what I think. But if they feel the pressure and they're down 10 points to the Colts late in the third quarter and they don't make the plays, it's just going to snowball. They'll be 5-6, and then I don't think they have really any shot to get to the postseason. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need a cleaning of the house. Travis Kelce's going to retire. I'm not sure Chris Jones is going to play next year. I'm not sure Steve Spagnuolo is going to be back. Andy Reid ain't getting any younger. Clark Hunt has some big decisions to make about what direction he wants to take this franchise, because it's clear Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame guy. I love him, but the narrative isn't changing. The plays aren't changing. The approach to the regular season isn't changing. And you just can't rely on Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones to make plays in the fourth quarter without having a better scheme and a better philosophy offensively and defensively, in my view.
Nick Athen, our guest from ChiefsBlitz.com. Listener Andy chimed in and said, he says Mahomes is elite to now. I think he was elite. What do you believe on that statement there? I feel it's a little bit hasty, but
yeah.
your thoughts on it?
I mean, he's still the best quarterback in the NFL. He just happens to be on a team right now that just has no offensive identity. He's given everything he can. I mean, what else is Mahomes supposed to do? In the second half, the Denver Broncos turned up the heat. Kingsley Suamataia went out with a concussion, which was huge. And I can't believe I'm even saying that. Mike Caliendo did a terrible job as his replacement. And listen, the Broncos did a really good job of covering all the underneath routes. And the only success Patrick had was to throw the ball deep. And he missed 2 wide open situations in the first quarter that would have been a touchdown, and the Chiefs probably win this football game. So I think Mahomes is pressing. I think he feels like he's got to make every play, and I feel like he's got to take risks. And he did in this game. And that interception in the red zone, which wouldn't have happened if Jawan Taylor had lined up onside, in the right position. They would have had 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. And again, they score a touchdown there. The Chiefs probably win that game. So Mahomes is doing everything he can. He's just not getting enough help from the coaching staff, and he's not getting enough help from the players in a unified manner in which he can find success without feeling like he has to make a perfect play every snap.
You make an interesting point there, because you were talking about how, he was, he's been, but in previous years, Nick, he has been the man. They haven't had a great running game. They didn't even have a great offensive line, and they've made it to the Super Bowl. So it feels like it's almost kind of the same ingredients this year, but why is the cake not rising?
Well, the cake's not rising because the ingredients aren't good. It's just that simple. I mean, Andy Reid, there was no end around. There was no reverses. There was no originality to that offense at all. It was the same calls and the same plays, the same first 15. Nothing is changing game to game to game. And for Patrick Mahomes, he needs more ingredients. I mean, they didn't even put a lot of guys in motion yesterday. And Kareem Hunt, God love this kid. Not only did he average 5 yards per game, but he was a bona fide kick-ass, if I could say that word on your show, blocker. He was pummeling pass rushers to give Mahomes more time. And Mahomes wanted to go deep a lot more than he did, but he just didn't have the time in the second half because the Broncos completely changed how they rushed. They overloaded on one side, and the Chiefs didn't recognize it. And that was the reason why one of the reasons why they lost in the last 2 drives of the fourth quarter. But Mahomes, what else is the kid going to do? I mean, he can't do any more than he's doing right now. And when he's not moving and running, I mean, for some reason over the last 4 or 5 games, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not running. He's not taking off. He's not moving. He's just sitting there like a sitting duck when it's overloaded. I mean, he's got to recognize that a play's probably not going to work. And until I see Patrick Mahomes overrule Andy Reid and change plays at the line of scrimmage like Tom Brady did, then, this is gonna be this way. Patrick, if he's gonna do one more thing in his career, he's got to take the Tom Brady approach. I don't like this play. I'm not running it at the line of scrimmage. I don't care what my head coach thinks or my offensive coordinator thinks. This is what I think. You're paying me $50 million a year to make these decisions, and I can read better. But he's just so team oriented. Just be selfish, Patrick. Just a little bit more.
Nick Athen, our guest with Chiefs Blitz. Now, you have said on the show before that you believe in the Broncos. You have said that you believe in what your thoughts after this win on what they could do the rest of the way.
That defense is sick. It was without 2 of their best players. And I listen, I think offensively they're not good. They lost their top running back. That's a third of their offense is gone, and they're not getting it back by any replacements that they have. They'll get 3, 4, 5 yards of carry, but you're not going to get that breakaway that J.K. Dobbins brought. So I think their quarterback, this team reminds me of the Baltimore Ravens team that won the Super Bowl with a terrible offense and an elite defense.
2000?
Yeah, in 2000. And I think, I can't remember the quarterback's name, but he was terrible.
Dilfer.
Okay. Yeah, he was awful. I mean, and this is a team that had Priest Holmes is a running back, and I can't remember who the other running back
Lewis.
was. Yeah,
it was Jamal Lewis, I think, not Priest Holmes.
Yeah, I think. So I think when you look at the Broncos, can they win the Super Bowl with that defense? Oh, hell yeah. There's no question about it. I like Bo Nix, but I'm saying right now, I think he's an average quarterback. When you give him time and he's not having to run out of the pocket, he can make the throws. The Chiefs gave him too much time. They weren't aggressive in the fourth quarter, and that's another reason why they lost. But for Denver, the schedule's a cakewalk. They can come into Kansas City on Christmas night, and that game's not going to matter at all. They can line up the last 2-3 weeks of the season knowing they won the division, and they can get ready for the postseason, and they can work specifically on what do we got to do to make Bo Nix more efficient. Now, the problem is, like you said, if they get behind in the playoffs is a lot different than the regular season. There's a lot more pressure. He's not faced that yet. And you can tell, I mean, I've seen Sean Payton for a long time. You can tell he's irritated at his quarterback. Now, he made some big plays, but you could tell that they're still not in sync this season. But as long as that defense, and again, they get 2 starters back here, and they don't even have to rush these guys back. Denver can certainly win the Super Bowl. If that defense gives up 20 points a game, I think the offense can do just enough to win 23-20 kind of thing. I don't think the Broncos are going to blow anybody else out the rest of the season. I think these are going to be the kind of games that you're going to see. I know their schedule is extremely weak. I mean, just all these top level teams right now, their schedules just are weak. So the Chiefs know what they've got now. They've got a real team that can compete against them every single season. And I will say this, and I talk about this often. When you're building an NFL team, you got to make 2 choices. One, you build a team that no other team can beat you, or you build a team to beat the top dog. You can't do both. It's one or the other. However, the Broncos have done that. They beat a team. They built a team the Chiefs can't beat right now, and they built a team that could beat the Chiefs. It's really hard to do. You look at the New England Patriots run, what happened in that division? No, everybody built their team to beat them, but they didn't build a team that the Patriots couldn't beat. And what Sean Payton has done, and he's my coach of the year, and I can't believe I'm saying that, they got both right. Now, they benefited from a horrible schedule, a lot of fourth quarter mistakes, and the 8 straight wins or the 7 straight wins or whatever it is. But you know what? To their credit, they made all the plays in the fourth quarter that they need to make, and that's why they're atop the division. That's why they could get. I think they play the Colts they played the Colts already, so they may not get the number 1 seed. They may get the 2 seed. And don't forget about the New England Patriots, which nobody's talking about. Might be the best team in the AFC overall, offense, defense, and special teams. So for my Broncos friends out there and fans, you got every chance in the world to get to the Super Bowl. And I will tell you, take advantage of this year, because next year, the way the NFL is turning, the way the AFC is changing, they got to take advantage of the situation. That's all I got to say.
Real quickly in 30 seconds,
Yep.
Your feelings on the Colts game for the Chiefs perspective. I mean, it's no doubt it feels like a must-win game, but to an extent, I know 6-1 might be able to get in the playoffs. But what are your feelings on this game? You think they stand a chance at winning this game? What are your thoughts on this?
Pessimistically, he's sitting here on Monday morning. I don't think so. I think the Colts offense is too diverse. Jonathan Taylor is the best, probably one of the best football players in the league, clearly. Probably going to finish number 2 in the MVP vote. But I think it's going to be tough for Kansas City unless they do this one thing that will turn their season around. Go out there and have fun playing football again. Because right now, for the last 2 games, they have not had any fun. It shows they didn't bring any fire. They don't bring the attitude you need. Go out there, play like you're this defending, play like you've won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. Play like you're the best team in the NFL. Go have fun. There is no fun right now. The pressure is so high that they've got to eliminate that pressure. But for me right now, the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Colts in the points.
Nick Athen, ChiefsBlitz.com. Nick, as always, thank you, my friend. We'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. See you next Monday.
Once again, great stuff there from Nick Athen on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. We'll take our final break, come back, and wrap the show with the leftovers and the walk-off on a Monday edition of the Morning Blitz.
In a world where sports never sleep, 2 voices rise every morning.
Hey, it's Ross Volkmer.
And I'm Connor Schuh.
Together, they bring you the highlights, the rivalries, and the drama of the game. From the high school gridiron to the NFL spotlight. Every play, every story, every morning. The Morning Blitz, because every day is game day. Weekday mornings at 7 Mountain, 8 Central Time on Rocket 1025. Video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Ag Sun in Brewster, Kansas is proud to be part of our community and wants to extend our warmest holiday greetings to you and your loved ones. A happy, prosperous holiday season to you from Ag Sun in Brewster, Kansas.
At Nextech Wireless, get the iPhone 17 on us. iPhone 17 comes in 4 gorgeous colors with a brighter 6.3-inch display and a ceramic 2 shield front that's 3 times more scratch resistant. Capture super high resolution shots by default with the advanced 48MP dual fusion camera system and have flexible ways to frame your shot with dual capture video for simultaneous front and rear recording. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansas.
They have gas, those guys at Boehner Oil and Oxy, and they deliver gas, diesel, and other on-the-farm fuels and oil to your place with drivers Doug, and Terry. They also sell fuel and propane right there at their pumps. Boehner Oil Service and Oxy. Ask about tire specials.
It's not just sports, it's your morning game plan.
I don't even believe you have a plan. I have part of a plan. That is not a plan.
This is the Morning Blitz.
Okay, wrapping up a Monday show here. Some things we didn't get to in the program. How about K-State football? They do win for just the second time since the year of 1999 at Oklahoma State, but it was ugly. Can you imagine when you have 5 takeaways and you only win 14-6? That's rough.
Not good.
It was not a great game. Avery Johnson threw for 177. Joe Jackson had a fourth-quarter touchdown that pretty much sealed it. And K-State, despite all that, has won 3 of their last 4, despite managing just 284 yards of offense. So they're 1 win away from bowl eligibility. I don't think it's going to happen next week when they got to go to Utah. That is going to be that's a scary-looking game here on Saturday for sure. But K-State did get a win over Oklahoma State 14-6. Some in hoops. We talked a little bit of hoops there. Fort Hays Tech Northwest men, a nice win at McCook Community College on Friday, 74-72. A nice win there. I'm going to get a hold of Coach Shaw, see if he'll come on the program this week sometime. Off to a 4-1 start are the Tech Tiger men. Colby Community College basketball. I mentioned it. I think last week we were talking about CCC hoops, and I said, God, I'm kind of concerned. I'm seeing a lot of big numbers being allowed defensively.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it rolled into this weekend, too. I think we're on a trend here. Trojan men went 0-2 at the Barton Booster Classic. They lost to Northern Oklahoma Tonkawa and Northern Oklahoma Enid, 94-83, 78-68. So 2 losses there. And the Lady Trojans also. The 78 wasn't bad. I'm not complaining that. But here's the thing. If you're not going to be elite offensively, you better be darn good defensively. And I don't know if those things are going to add up this year. We'll see. We'll see about that. Lady Trojans also went 0-2. I mean, the Barton Booster Classic is a challenge. Don't get me wrong. Great teams there. Lady Trojans lost to Redlands Community College 76-31 and Grayson Community College 87-34. So they had some rough offensive days to the Lady Trojans. Makes you wonder if some players didn't play or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll see about that. You mentioned Nebraska basketball. We talked about Kansas. Colorado basketball with a nice win on Friday over Providence, 97-88. That was a good showing from them. And then can't forget on the mat, wrestling. How about Ernest Grant? Back-to-back weekends of a champion of a first finish at the top of the podium. Took first at 125 pounds. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Ernest Grant taking first at 125 at the Grandview Viking Open. So back-to-back finishes at the top of the podium for Grant. And then also this weekend in Colby was the Dust Bowl Duels and the Dust Bowl Open. Lady Trojan Wrestling had 5 ladies place at the Dust Bowl Open on Saturday, including Catherine Dutton, who took first at 207. Fort Hays Tech Northwest also had a first place placer at 180, Caroline Purcell. So pretty good showing from the lady wrestlers on the mat this weekend over in Colby. And can't forget that K-State men, their basketball team back on the floor tonight at Bramlage. They take on Tulsa tonight. By the way, it's a matchup of 2 3-0 teams. One team will go back to the locker room at the end of the game with a loss. Tip-off tonight is at 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time on 100.3 The Ride. You could, of course, watch it on the Plus, ESPN Plus. All right, on to the walk-off.
And Matt lifts his ball high, deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
So what were your thoughts of the Shadur Sanders coming into the game for the Brownies this weekend?
I knew this was coming eventually. He had to. Dylan Gabriel got a concussion, and frankly, his stat line doesn't really tell the story of how he was playing initially. Dylan Gabriel, I didn't think he looked too great, despite being 7-10. But Shadur came in, and the hopes were high at first. He threw 2 straight completions, was looking pretty good. Then he kind of ran into a sack to end a drive. I was like, okay, it's not too great. And then, it was pretty rough from there. He had a couple of good throws, and you can see the talent. Like, you can see it's there. This guy has a higher ceiling than Dylan Gabriel and can certainly do more if he gets a chance to really get it going with the ones. And he's going to practice with the ones this week. And barring Gabriel getting healthy, he's probably going to start next weekend.
Who does Cleveland have on Sunday this coming week?
I got to look. While I'm looking,
You don't know?
It's been a hard season, Ross. We've got the Raiders, so that's winnable.
Oh, hey,
so
that is winnable.
But Shadur, he made some good throws, some tough decisions at times. You could tell he hasn't really thrown against an NFL defense before, and the line wasn't really doing him any favors. He got hit a lot, so it's kind of hard to judge, but he didn't really make me much more confident. But I still believe. I think it's there. He just needs some time to mesh and gel with the ones of the Browns, and then I think maybe we're going to see some better football.
Also today, ready or not, here it comes. Winter sports season practices begin today. Basketball, wrestling, it all gets going today with winter sports season practices beginning today. Good luck to all the athletes. See you tomorrow here on The Blitz.